So as you said, you had in effect a two-way miss, and what happened is the reason we've got one shot going that way and then one shot going that way, okay, three shots, okay, and then some going that way, okay, does happen obviously, is there's things in your swing and setup that are creating the hook or the slice. And basically what you found was most of the things you were doing at setup was kind of the hook tendency, strong grip with the right hand, okay, and then the takeaway, when the club would go back, you'd almost try to take it back in a straight line. So you do almost like a rehearsal movement here now. You can see you sort of take the golf club back here now. That sort of movement there now is kind of more so initiated with your elbows and your arm. That's why the elbows sort of split, because if you move your body, they would say together. If you move the arms, the elbows are going to start splitting. So that pushing away in a straight line, as you can see, that's actually going to encourage your club to not come behind you enough and come more over the top, which again sends it left. Your last minute kind of like split second decision at the end to send it more right was the hands way forward. That's what Hack Motion was picking up there, sort of the real sort of cover drive sort of shot, which just kind of weakens the shot. So you either like a destructive shot left and lose the ball potentially. If it does go straight, it's going to be a weak block shot. And if it does slice, it's going to be a really, really weak block shot and go nowhere. So you're kind of like, you're losing on all fronts, really. Even if the ball goes straight, great, but it's gone probably 20 yards short of where you wanted to go. So the movement you were going back there was going back, and you can see it a bit shorter and steeper there. That was your sort of practice movement. And then when the swing actually came in, you can see how much when your arms go away now. If there was a stick on your left leg or this way, he's a long way from your leg. So your arms have moved out and away this way. And again, it shortens that backswing length. There was kind of your backswing length. Not really much depth there, not much turn. So for you to get that club to come back on a good line, you'd have to stop your body completely, which, in all fairness, it's almost impossible. Yeah, your body's going to turn, as you'll see on this right-hand one. These are the kind of rehearsal swings. You can see as you turn your body here now, so the club now is more, if there was a stick now through you, that's more on line underneath the shoulders there. You turn your body better there now. Try and do these without watching. I think when you start feeling your kind of your chest and your head kind of separating a little bit. If you just sort of, oh, that's good. And then when you go to a golf ball, I don't want to move my body, okay? So get the sensation of doing that. Now, we've not said increase your backswing length. We just said turn better, okay? There's your takeaway now in the same sort of spot as what you were. As you go to the top of the backswing here now, your depth in terms of your hand, you've got further away from your head. So the club is now starting to work around your body better. And you see the hips turned out of the way a lot more. And as we said, the feeling now is turn the hips back more, slow them down the way back down. This was one of the really good shots you hit there, where you felt as though the hips didn't move on the way back down. You watch now, just watch your right hip pocket as you come back down. Yeah, that was a practice swing. There you go. Okay, look at that. As the club's, I mean, your hip's still moving straight away. Yeah, it's impossible to keep that hip from spinning. Okay, we've just got to delay a little bit. Even that's the practice swing. It's still the same position when you come back down now. As you come back now, your hips, I would say, based on where your knees and hips are square to target. Yeah, but the club's up here. That's you slowing your hips down. They've already got back to square before contact. Then as you come back in the golf ball now, there's a good strike. Your hips have opened up, which they should do and will do, but we just got to slow it down just a smidgen, yeah? So it's getting a more efficient path towards target. Good strike of this. Again, you said this felt 3/4 in length. I wouldn't say it's 3/4 in length compared to what you were before, yeah? It's actually probably, in terms of distance from the ball, I would say because your club's gone further that way, it's further from the golf ball, yeah? You've actually got more depth in terms of getting your body around the corner. So the club, although it might feel a shorter length backswing, you're actually swinging it further from the ball, which generates more energy, yeah? And from a directional point of view, it's coming from a better angle, yeah? So now the hips can sort of feel like they're sort of slowing down here. You can see that one there, the hips have already squared up there now, and the club's up here. So as you're coming into the golf ball now, I mean, that's before impact, where the hips are aiming, yeah? Everything now is going to want to hand this ball left, unless you then kind of block it off with your hands and really sort of, I say, cricket forward, sort of defensive cover drive type shot. Otherwise, that ball is going to be going left all day, okay? So I think you can work on that takeaway, just doing this sort of rehearsal thing. Do it with that upside down club, so the club kind of goes up through your left sort of side down. Just feel the club shaft going down the sort of thigh towards your knee. And then when you're playing golf, I think as a swing thought, I suppose from a simplistic kind of point of view, think of your right side of your body like a door opening and closing. So you're going to kind of open the door and just keep the door open for a little bit longer. Yeah? It will close, yeah? It's like a sort of one of those sort of fire swinging doors. It will close. Just slow it down just a hair. And we're talking nanoseconds, but it will feel like for an eternity, yeah? The hips are always going to unwind, okay? But if we can get a bit more depth, as I say, when we turn back, get the club working back further. hips slow down a smidge or feel they're slowing down, get the club back on par. So at least things now are kind of working more that way and that way and that way, as opposed to where it was before, as you said, where it would go kind of like one over there, and then you won't get one straight. So at least your bad shots are going to be better, because that's where when you shot your 45, what it was the front nine, you did less of the bad shots. The 54 was you didn't hit less good shots, you just did more bad shots, yeah. And that's the thing when it comes to playing golf. So, make sense?
It does.
Good man, very good. Right.